G'day guys and welcome back to Australian Technology Park here for the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 Finals live from Sydney, and of course we're into semi-final number 2 here between Alpha Sydney and Legacy Esports. First map went to Legacy, now we're heading into the second map here. We're actually in the knife round at the moment already. Looks to be going the way of Legacy, indeed it does, but just quickly before we get into things, I want to mention that you guys still have time to come down to ATP for the grand final. If anyone lives in Sydney and is thinking about coming down, now would be a good time to leave, because if this goes 1 or 2 maps longer, it's plenty, just enough time to get here, get settled, ready in for the grand final. So, well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves now. No. Focus back in on this game here. Legacy picked up that knife round, Mike. Yeah,
that's the winning continues for them. So,
it does.
If you are joining us late, the first match was a bit of a stomping, wasn't it, Jordan?
Certainly was. 16-6 was the scoreline in the favour of Legacy, and really it just felt like Alpha Sydney didn't even get into that game at all. I almost want to say 6 rounds is very generous for Alpha Sydney. Like, it didn't seem like anything was really
they got the
concrete
pistol
for them. You know, nothing was working.
Yeah, well, they got the pistol in the second half and then subsequent 2 ecos.
Yeah.
So that's 3. They won 3 gun rounds across that first half. So I guess, really they have to. The hardest part about the position they're in right now is not the fact that they lost the first map, because it is a best of 3 and they have another opportunity now to come back into it. But it's in particular is having that the mindset to be able to go, look, yep, we didn't do great. We did terrible. But it's done. There's nothing we can do now about that first map. So instead, we have to focus on the second map. What can we do better? What can we, as a team, do? What do we need to work on to fix things on Cache?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little more quietly confident here for Alpha Sydney on Cache. I did talk about it a little bit earlier prior to the first map. It is...
A lot of people were quietly confident about Alpha Sydney's chances.
Yeah,
before this match started.
It's Alpha Sydney's best map. Yep. It's a little interesting for me that Legacy picked it. Obviously, we know Legacy is very good on Cache as well, but why would you not just get rid of Cache, and then Alpha Sydney's, the rest of their map pool doesn't look all that strong. So, interesting times ahead of us to see how this map is going to go. Hopefully, it'll be a lot closer than the last one. And personally, I'm gunning for an Alpha Sydney victory so that we get to go to a map 3, because
that'd be nice.
That's always what we want to see. And at the moment, we are just waiting for another player to come in from Legacy Esports into the server. It looks like someone's having some technical issues, so that's what the hold-up is. But in the meanwhile, I may as well mention once again that we've got another skin giveaway coming out after this game. So either after Legacy wins this one or after Alpha Sydney wins this one, and then whoever wins the third match. We'll be giving away a gut knife ultraviolet.
Field tested.
Free knife. So yeah, stick around for that one after the match. And also, while we're on the topic of the things, we'll give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. Of course, Mwave, who has been our main sponsor for this event, but also NVIDIA, MSI, AOC, Turtle Beach, Plantronics, Netgear, Logitech, and AK Racing, who have been supporting the event. And of course, also the league throughout its entirety, which has been fantastic.
They're literally supporting us right now.
It is literally. We are sitting on AK Racing.
They're very comfortable. So
AK Racings, AK Racers.
Yeah, AK Racing.
AK Racers.
Yep.
Good chairs anyway.
Certainly are.
Whatever you want to call them.
If you are in need of a new PC, there is actually a special going on at mwave.com.au. It's for the Infinite 66, which is a Core i7 6600 based Counter-Strike PC, and it'll give you all the frames you need to all the fragging you need. It's just like the setup, the PCs that the pros here are using at CGPL. So if you're in need of a new PC, jump on at mwave.com.au and check it out. I personally use Mwave since they started supporting our scene, and since I've been aware of that, I've been using them for deliveries. They've got great customer service, and you should really go and check them out if you're in the market for a new PC.
Yeah, well, I certainly would.
Yeah.
Very good service and all that jazz. Also quite vocal in the community. I mean, they have a few people floating around on the Cybergamer forums getting involved with things. There's also, oftentimes specials and that sort of thing for Cybergamer users. So really great support coming out from Mwave, and we do thank them a lot for supporting us here today and, of course, making all of this happen. But, yes, interesting times ahead here for Legacy and Alpha Sydney. Going to throw you under the bus quickly here, Mike.
Oh.
Prediction for this map.
Look, based on what we saw on the first map, and really it was Alpha Sydney didn't turn up, kind of like Pixel hasn't. So really, it's going to have to go back to Legacy again. It's going to be... I think we're going to see a little bit more of a fight out of Alpha Sydney in this one, because I don't think they're going to want to go home getting absolutely demolished, even if it's Legacy and they are a great team.
Yeah.
Or at least they certainly have the potential to be a great team. We haven't quite seen that yet from them, other than this stomping that they've just done. So I think that Alpha Sydney will come back a little bit, but ultimately, I think it might be a reversal of what we saw in the season when these two teams played each other, and it'll be 16-13 in favour of Legacy rather than Alpha Syd.
Yeah, I think you're probably right in assuming that. Like, obviously Alpha Sydney have got a good record on this map, and they have actually beaten Legacy on it, but that was online. LAN's a big difference, and Legacy is looking in great shape at the moment as well. So
it's also quite some time ago. I guess the other thing they did have a different player in it.
Week number 3, so at least 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Well, it was a 2-week break.
So it would be about 5 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago. So that's quite a long time in Counter-Strike, especially when you consider there's also been a roster change for Legacy in that time with Buster coming in at the last minute for them. So, yeah, that's my prediction, 16-13 in favour of Legacy. We didn't see anything at Alpha Sydney that impressed me in that first map, really. And Sicko was showed some glimmer at some point where he got a couple of nice entry frags. But, I mean, even in the rounds where they did get a reasonable start, they were pegged back pretty hard pretty quickly.
Yeah, it did certainly feel like that every sort of opportunity that they had to come back into the match was basically whisked out from underneath them.
Yeah.
Legacy, again, in those mid-rounds, those late rounds sort of situations, were always able to come back and come up with the goods. I don't even really recall. Was there any clutches that went in the way of Alpha Sydney? I don't think there was. So
no, it was the rounds that they won. They won convincingly, and clutch situations weren't for them. So I mean, Havoc was probably he did the most damage.
Yeah,
AWP was a big factor, and I spoke about it before the break about him being able to use that in a similar method on Cache. So you probably look forward. Well, I expect to see that coming to a part when they're on CT, that coming to fruition again.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not good news at all heading into Cache for Alpha Sydney. Seeing that Havoc is playing so strongly. Offnu as well was looking pretty sharp. Yeah,
and he's been a really important part of their team throughout this season. He's a guy that he will probably, I think he plays B on Cache and he locks it down, sometimes solo. He certainly does that on other maps. He's Mirage, he plays A site, and it can solo that, which allows them to put more emphasis on other key areas, i.e. mid on Cache or mid on Mirage, for another example. So he's been a really good player, and it's interesting that, I mean, we know that Offnu's been a good player for a long time. He's been in a couple of high-profile teams over the last year, but for him to be the form player of the team, excluding the map that we just saw generally, it shows a lot for this team, the fact that it's Offnu and it's not a guy like, originally when Top Gun was it wasn't Top Gun, or it's not Havoc, it's
a lot of big name players on the Legacy lineup, and obviously very strong side heading into this one at least, hoping for them, at least in their opinion, they'd be wanting to pick this one up. And obviously, national competitions is not exactly their end goal.
No.
They'll want to be going overseas, competing overseas. Obviously, they have a lot of seasoned professionals who've I think that everyone on their team has gone overseas to play.
Yes.
So, a lot of experience on that lineup, and they'll be looking to do it again. Obviously, with the backing of an org like Legacy, that's entirely possible. So it should be great to see. Anyway, looks like we've got 5 in the server here for Legacy, and of course also 5 for Alpha Sydney. So going to be heading into the pistol round momentarily. It's going to be fantastic because you will not have to look at our faces anymore. You can have a look at some lovely Counter-Strike. Yes, put your hands in the air, as our producer is telling us. Put your cans in the air.
Put your cans in the air. Anyone got any cans? No. Audience says no. All right. It's the second map, the second semi-final, Legacy versus Alpha Sydney. Legacy taking in a 1-zip lead after winning 16-6 on Dust 2 and winning the knife round, continuing on from that form. Choosing the CT side, pretty typical. And this looks like to be a mid/A split coming out from Alpha Sydney, who are just being a little bit cautious in case Legacy decide to push them in this round. Unfortunately for them, if they are going to proceed with an A split, they have 3 members on the site for Legacy to deal with. That is Buster Bus, APOC, and Lightstep. Yeah,
they've also got Havoc in mid to contend with. So it's almost like there's rotation. 4 people holding the A site, because as soon as he gets into short there, he's just got great...
the reason that they're able to do that, or the reason why they're doing that, is that Offnu is spotting B main as well. So he's just peak spotting, a shoulder peeking type deal. So we are going to see an A execute or an A split by the looks of things you never know. The bomb has moved back, so
perhaps a mid. Looks like they're going to go over mid.
Yep.
The smoke coming down into windows, so that's going to block off any spotting that Havoc is going to be able to do, but certainly he's going to be able to hear these footsteps coming up in towards mid. They're actually going to fall back here, and looks like they're going to go for a B split. A few of them coming around through the halls, and a couple coming into vent. No one in checkers there, and they're actually going to get really close on towards the bomb site here without taking too much fire at all. And that's going to be the case. There's actually no one on the site here for Legacy, so that's a little interesting.
Well, they did this in the first map as well. They played retake and a pistol on Dust 2, and it worked out pretty well for them. So 5 versus 5 retake, so the pressure is coming on, and good utilities as well on the side of Legacy. So they're probably in the situational advantage, even if the time is starting to waste down a little for them.
Yeah, they're going to need to hit some quick shots heading in towards here, because it can quite quickly spiral out of the control in the favour of Alpha Sydney. That's the first one coming out in the favour of Legacy. Lightstep actually picking up 2 there, taking out PC Kid and Echo. And now things looking very good for Legacy. I think they've got someone on the bomb at the moment as well, and they're going to get that defuse quite easily there. Herbs managed just to close out a couple of kills after the fact, but really it doesn't matter at all. It is the pistol round, no guns to be lost, and Legacy quite a convincing pistol round on that retake.
Yeah, I thought Alpha Sydney did. I mean, they had a good read of the scenario there. They saw basically it looked like they wanted to go for that A split, and I'm not sure whether they just spotted that guy on the A site and thought maybe not, we'll rotate back through to B. But they made the right choice, unable to execute in the post-plant scenario. So 4 UMPs, and an M4 on Legacy. Mid control has been taken, it's been relinquished by Legacy, so Alpha Sydney are occupying it for the meantime at least. Pistol armor on 2 of their players, being Herbs and Wizard. And now the wait begins. It's a game of chicken.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like
who's going to cluck?
This has kind of been the story for Alpha Sydney. They'll get into somewhere, play pretty slowly, and then eventually make their way on towards the bomb site, just waiting the timer down quite a lot. And Legacy really not peeking in towards them at all either. So it's a game of stalemate at the moment. Everyone, all the chess masters making their decisions.
It's Lightstep v PZ Kid, and really Legacy kind of works in their favour at the moment. They haven't used really any utility for quite some time.
Yeah, and these long sightlines as well are going to favour Legacy. You can see Lightstep picking up an easy kill there. APOC actually goes down, but the rest of Legacy there to just clean things up. So not a problem at all losing that one player. It was a UMP as well. They keep that M4. And heading into this next round, Legacy are going to be looking pretty good.
It's interesting to see whether they're going to upgrade more than what they have already. APOC's going to get a UMP. So, equipment speaking here, Alpha Sydney will have the advantages with 5 AKs. So
not as many utilities though.
Sure. But UMPs, a bold play there. It's not worked out for Legacy at all. In fact, it's gone down with 3 players and just... I mean, like that, Jordan. Buster's last alive. At least he has an M4. But I get the aggression shown from Legacy. What they were trying to do there was really make the fact that they didn't have the better guns necessarily dictate and try and push and force the scenario on Alpha Sydney. But they were waiting for it.
They did get a bit greedy with their buy there, didn't they? I mean, you can take 1 or 2 SMGs into the third round, but taking 3 is a little bit of a risk.
Perhaps a... overconfidence, perhaps?
I think they have reason to be overconfident, to be fair.
Well, yeah, certainly on first map.
They probably feel that they can give up a round or 2 here, so I don't think they're going to be too worried about that. Obviously, they'll have enough money to buy into the next round as well. So, wasn't, it's not the end of the world here for Legacy. It's going to give Alpha Sydney an early round, though, so not too bad. They also managed to keep those 4 AKs, so that's good for them. And they do take down Buster in the end there, so he's going to have to rebuy.
Alpha Sydney getting their first round on the board much earlier than they did previously in the last map, so that's good news for them. They're slowly but surely going to make their way into this matchup, and they'll have the economic advantage in terms of equipment yet again. And we'll see how they want to set up this time. So, setting just for a default at this point, but for the stack is on the B site for Legacy Esports. So you can see there we've got 2 in the site, or rather 3 in the site and 1 in checkers. Alpha Sydney's Sicko has managed to wake his way out into mid and is just taking their time. They don't want to get caught up in a stack, but interested to see what they read of this scenario and how much they push on the A site in particular as well.
It's a bit of a stack towards B here for Legacy, so Alpha Sydney don't want to walk into that trap, and it seems at the moment that they're going to be able to negotiate it. Obviously, they've got a bit of mid-control once again, and it's good for them. There's not going to be anyone from Legacy spotting that out. You can see Lightstep did make an information push in towards A main. Actually spots out Herbs, but gets taken out for his trouble. And really, he spots one person, so how much you can figure from that is, I guess, not a whole lot.
It's not looking good for Alpha Sydney because the bomb is making its way across the bomb site and potentially going to run into the stack here. But Echo will have the information very shortly. He gets one, he gets two, he gets three. No, PZK picks up that second one. And they're going to go into the site. Often is the last alive. Gets an easy kill with the CSGO. Picks up a second here. Now it's a 1 versus 2. And it's not undoable for Often. 100 points. Oh.
Going for
I
the
jinxed
AK.
him.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
Caster's curse. Still, I think he got more out of that round than he really should have. Sicko just looking in the complete wrong direction. Not sure what the communication was like there for Alpha.
Well, I guess they assumed it. I mean, they killed 3 on the B bomb site. They killed 1.
Yeah.
And the other one would have been sitting on A somewhere, so that, well, site's clear. But check your sites, boys.
Yep.
Always got to check your sights. Doesn't matter what round it is, someone might be ninjaing in. And so Havoc has pulled out the AWP. He had a devastating impact on the first map, and he will look to continue that. He gets flashed and smoked off straight away, but he's going to pick up the alternate angle. The Wizard is really... He's sitting actually out in the sunroom there. And in the meantime, Alpha Sydney working their default again, trying to make sure they don't get caught out like they almost did last round.
Yeah, Legacy have got some presence in mid now this time, so Alpha City, they've been getting into mid uncontested, but this time they're going to have to deal with Ofnu.
APOC in the vent as well. So he'll probably just play a bait play here, and they're moving 3 towards the A-bomb site. But I mean, Alpha City, a minute has gone through, and they haven't really gained any territory. They haven't really gained any information, although now they start to take mid, so Echo moving his way up towards the highway. Creeping it through, Sicko pushing into vent. They're going to do the boost on the site there, and this could actually be alright. They just have to be careful of Ofnu here. Make sure that he doesn't pop out behind them as they try and make their way up highway.
Yeah, that is going to be the crucial play of this round, you'd have to expect here. Alpha City just running that timer down once again, 35 on the board, or 35 seconds on the board. And Often has actually fallen back in towards CT spawn after that pick that Havoc has taken onto Wizard. So still, the player advantage here in the favour of Legacy. And Alpha City, though, getting a lot of control up towards short. And I'm not sure Legacy are entirely aware of this, but you can see they've got a lot of people moving towards the A site, so the rotation is going to be very quick. And Alpha City not even going to be able to get onto this site. You can see Legacy just cleaning house. That was a very good read. They had everyone on that side as Alpha City tried to enter. So no hope at all for the terrorists in that one.
Walking into a pretty convincing crossfire, trying to make their way across from highway onto the A-bomb site. And Buster picking up a nice double as well there. I mean, if he died there, potentially, that would have gone quite different, as they would have been able to have that threat of being shot from A site as well as with a truck area. And very important couple of frags by Buster. So 3-2, forcing Alpha Sydney back onto the eco. Already, though, this map's feeling a little bit closer. It's not feeling like Legacy are going to run away with it any minute, despite picking up that first gun round for them. So,
yeah,
just real. I mean,
there's nothing really that Alpha City can do here. Like,
yep. I mean, the goal is, I mean, they don't have the utilities to do a smoke type execute, so they just have to flashbang on herbs. So they're just going to have to come in, group up, and hope for the best. And unfortunately, their best is picking the wrong site at this stage, as there are 4 players focusing towards A and nothing towards B.
Slowly but surely, Alpha Sydney moving then in the general direction of the A site, but there you can see APOC and Havoc picking up 1 apiece. And whatever slim chance Alpha Sydney had in this round is very nearly disappearing. They're just hanging on by the skin of their teeth in this eco round. And there's another one for Buster. Is he going to get another couple? Only gets 1. But APOC is there to close it out.
There.
Yeah.
Second. So 4-2 now, Legacy picking up a reasonable lead here. And we're going to go into another gun round now. Well, interesting to see whether Sicko gets dropped an AWP. No, it's not the case. So Echo could have dropped him off instead. He's going to roll with Khalil. So good utilities on their side, so they'll be able to make use of the smokes and the flashes and a couple of Molotovs as well. But it's basically the perfect buy in this scenario for Legacy. Full utilities on all their players. And the AWP on Havoc, who has been very good at this stage.
Nice smoke coming out here from Ofnu. Very well aware of the mechanics of that one. He's going to peek through the corner of it, gets himself an easy kill. And Alpha Sydney left hanging once again with only those 4 players. Ofnu almost getting a second from that smoke. Going to pop flash himself out in towards the B-holes, but there is a smoke down there from one of the other Legacy players that is going to obscure his vision, but still. Good start into this round. Alpha Sydney need to find something. I mean, they've got 2 on the board, but again, you can already start to feel that Legacy are really stamping their boot onto this map. They're getting the control across everywhere and really looking strong. There's not really been an opportunity for Alpha Sydney to get a whole lot out of any of these rounds.
Again, they're going to try and sneak their way up highway, but it's Legacy are reading this yet again, so they've already rotated another player off. The pop flash comes out, a lot of damage done, but no kill. And Apoc's going to be able to pick up one here as well. So this team, this Legacy team, is working out really well. It's crossfires, pop flash for each other. The teamwork is fantastic, and they're getting it done. CSGO picking up a nice kill, but they're going to try and work their way onto the B-bomb site. But again, the read's fantastic. Legacy have all the numbers.
Certainly do, and you can see Buster picking up that one there, and also the second for himself. Easy kill onto CSGO. And once again, another very convincing round going in the favor of Legacy. 5 on the board already. Money looking fantastic for them as well. Alpha Sydney just not quite as good. Legacy really shaping up to be another big first half.
Yeah, one of the big problems for Alpha Sydney, for both Dust 2 and this map, is their default doesn't really gain them a lot. I mean, they're holding their angles, they're waiting in case Legacy push, but Legacy aren't pushing all that often. When we saw that pop, well, that smoke, one-way smoke that Often did in that last round, but they're not really overextending that much. And really, it's being unfruitful for Alpha Sydney, but they've worked their way onto the A-bomb site. In fact, they're going to be able to get a plant as well. So this is a good result for them in this eco round. Very little investment. And it's going to be a retake city for Legacy Esports.
Certainly is, but they do have the numbers advantage and, of course, the weapon advantage as well. Look at these utilities coming across. Beautiful from Legacy Esports. So much damage going across to Alpha Sydney just from the Molotovs. And you can see the cleanup crew, the janitors that are Legacy Esports coming in here. Echo does manage to find one, but the smoke is going to obscure the view of PZ Kid here. Still, no one from Legacy on the bomb just yet. They do need to get a bit of a wriggle on. There you go. The final kill goes over in the favor of Ofnu. And wow, that was actually really nice to watch from Legacy. I almost felt there was 0 chance of them not getting that retake because those Molotovs came across, did almost 50% of the damage that was needed to be done to the whole team on Alpha Sydney.
I call it a Disco Inferno retake.
Yeah.
Burn, baby, burn.
Well, fire and trees don't generally mix, but in this sense, Legacy...
It's true. This is true.
Work.
6-2 is the scoreline. Legacy in favour after their 16-6 victory on their first map, Dust 2. So they're in a very commanding position throughout this entire... And again, Molotov damage. Echo, 4 HP. Hasn't seen anyone except for Flames.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
he's going to be seeing Ofnu there.
This is what we're talking about, Ofnu being a big player there. Picks up a double again. So this is yet another round where he's gotten either kills or a lot of damage early on. And it's just completely shutting out Alpha Sydney's ability to get into anything in this map.
Certainly is. We can see Sicko here with the AWP trying to peek in towards the A-bomb site slowly. Doesn't know exactly that there's someone playing by the corner. That's Buster who will have to deal with. But he has got some reasonable positioning up into A main here. Hasn't spotted anyone on the A site. And the rest of Legacy really not in a position to actually help Buster. So if he can pick this player, and well, Alpha Sydney, even if he does pick that player, it's going to be such a long rotate for Alpha Sydney to get that bomb to the A-bomb site. But PZ Kid getting in there with a double kill, that's going to help things out. Brings it to a 3v2. Could this be the round that turns things around for Alpha Sydney? Interesting push from Buster is going to get shut down there by Sicko. Information play.
Yep.
And
if you're wondering what went on here, and this has actually worked out really well because they've done the double fake. Sicko's pushed in and smashes Havoc as well. Good flash getting him. So, yeah, if you're wondering, like you said, that information play there. So Buster wasn't really sure they weren't really sure because they had mid control at that point. So they didn't know whether they were going to move towards A or B. So that play from Buster might have looked a little bit noob as he just threw a smoke down and tried to walk around it. He was looking for the information as to which site they were going to go for. But in the end, Alpha Sydney did the double back and went towards B rather than A. So Sicko getting all up in their face from T-Spawn.
Yeah, Legacy won't be too disappointed with how things are going at the moment. Obviously, that was probably a round that should have gone in their favour, but still, 6-3 on Cage is not a bad result at the moment for Legacy. If they can turn this into 9 or 10 rounds, they'll be very pleased with themselves. They're going to go for a boost here as well, or a counter boost almost. As Apoc pops his head up here, he might be in a bit of trouble though. Echo is watching that line.
I know we can see X-Ray, But the things that where Legacy have been dying, when they have been dying to Alpha Sydney, is for when they push. So either he's going to have to be really patient here and not peek. That's going to be good. Otherwise, it might be a decides to bust over with a flash there. Ooh. Gets the dink, but doesn't get it in. Sicko managing to get the kill there, but he's quite low now.
Yeah, that was fantastic timing from APOC, just not quite landing the shots there. And really, you almost feel that should have been his kill, but he was sort of falling at the time where he spotted out his opposition number. And that didn't help him at all with his aim. And you see Lightstep here burning in the flames. He's actually going to get taken out by Herbs there, but still, Havoc sitting there with the AWP, gets a double kill, brings it back to a 3 versus 3 here. Legacy holding strong for the moment in this round. But Alpha Sydney making their way towards that B-bomb site. They do have a lurker in mid as well.
Yeah, that's Sicko there. He's not going to be able to do too much. The ideal play really would here be potentially the boost back up through to mid there, because the two players from Legacy are one on the site and one in spawn. But they're taking their time, Alpha Sydney, as they do. Now it comes in. Now it's going to be, the communication's going to be over by off now. He's going to have to do a lot of work. He gets one. He's got Echo coming around. He's on absolutely nothing there. Gets the headshot as well, and he gets the third. Great play there from Offnu, and that's what I spoke about in the pre-game. Locking down a site, basically solo.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job for Legacy. You can see there, top of the scoreboard, 11 kills already out of 11 rounds. So he's getting at least 1 kill a round, on average.
On average.
So really putting in the legwork here for Legacy Esports at the moment. Alpha Sydney going to be forced once again on towards the eco, and I feel like getting a bit of a sense of deja vu at the moment.
Well, at least they picked up their 3 rounds that they got on that first half already, and they've got 4 more rounds to improve what they did in the first map. So APOC now trying to get up, trying to unsettle Alpha Sydney with the UMP. Gets 1, gets 2, gets the third. All headshots as well, so bomb down, and that's going to be all done and dusted. I feel for this round it's a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, no weapons either secured for Alpha Sydney. Havoc, an easy kill onto Sicko there. Offnu, the only player going down here for Legacy. The bomb really not in the hands of PZ Kid either. So basically, anything that you can think of is going the way of Legacy at the moment, at least in this round.
Yep.
Just, I guess, almost waiting to see how long PZ can survive. Shouldn't be much longer, but he actually is going to be able to take down Buster. That would allow him to get a rifle here as well. So
still a 1 versus 3, and with 24 hit points.
He almost took down Havoc as well.
Yeah. No hit points anymore. 8-3 is the scoreline, and I guess at this point we probably look at the economy speaking as well. We're looking at both sides. The buy that comes out for Alpha Sydney is going to put them quite low. But at the same time, Legacy Esports, they'll be able to buy next round for sure. But if the pressure stays up, if Alpha Sydney, at least when they, even they lose this round, if they take down 4 and potentially keep putting that pressure on, as their money bonus starts to sped up. But it's going to be a fast A take here, straight up the other side is Sicko.
Yeah, they've got a lot of control towards that A-bomb side, and interestingly enough, Legacy have pushed into Squeaky, so the side is actually completely open here for Alpha Sydney. But do they know that these 2 Legacy players are in the Squeaky area? They're not 100% sure. They must have a feeling, though, because there's no one on the site, so where else are they going to be? Lightstep is going to jump up onto the truck here, takes down Sicko, and the pop flash will come out of Squeaky here as well. Not going to be doing too much work in the favor of Legacy Esports. They're actually completely blinding Buster there and forcing him to stay in the Squeaky door. And now they're going to be well aware that there's a couple of players in Squeaky. Wizard will be smoked off here, but he's still in a crucial position to close out these 2 players. If he peeks around now, it'll be an easy kill. Actually, they line up for him. He gets a double kill. PZ Kid closes out the other one. A very nice round coming out for Alpha Sydney, but I feel that was off the back of a mistake from Legacy Esports, more so than anything. That push into the... Well, not necessarily a mistake, but...
Luck.
A luck, yeah,
a little bit of a luck.
So Legacy...
But it was also the change of pace there. Alpha Sydney have been looking better when they've been a little bit quicker. The slow rounds haven't really... I mean, they've gotten 3 on the board prior to that, but that was a change of pace. It wasn't expected. And we saw the guy on the highway getting shot, and he's just like, oh, hang on, wait, they're already on the A site, and they're already pushing me from A into highway.
Yeah. The trouble there for Legacy was that they didn't have anyone on the A site, so that player on highway was isolated and an easy kill.
But that's because Alpha Sydney have been playing so slowly. Legacy feel like they can make a concession at the start of the round and go, yeah, we won't watch A main because they're not going to come out anyway. Yeah, well,
this is going to be an eco coming out here for Legacy, and if they actually manage to pick this one up again on towards Alpha Sydney,
it's going to be brutal.
It is going to be brutal indeed, because obviously we know they picked up 1 eco last round and really ran away with things after that, but still, they've got a little bit of work to do. They have retrieved that 1 weapon, and it's actually on APOC here. Still 3 players for Alpha Sydney to contend with, but things looking okay for Legacy. They've actually got control of the bomb as well, so Alpha Sydney do have quite a bit of work to do to get back into this round.
And the problem with this is it's an unusual position to try and attack obviously you spend the whole time in Counter-Strike attacking 2 particular bomb sites in the mid area, but you don't spend any time trying to retake the little connector between mid and B.
Yeah.
So this is what they're trying to do now. They're trying to use the utilities and flush out those players, but at the moment it's not looking good for them. Legacy are holding a little bit more defensively.
Yeah, I mean, if Legacy actually let them into this connector and then collapse upon them, that could be interesting and a little bit dangerous for Alpha City. They have actually managed to spot out Havoc there in towards
now he's playing a bait.
But yeah, he is certainly playing a bait. It actually worked out quite well for them, but often he wasn't able to hit the shots. And there's a kill from Echo going underneath the truck. Herbs in the meanwhile did manage to pick up Buster. And that's going to bring things back in the favor of Alpha Sydney, though. I mean, they get the kill there, Legacy does, from APOC, but it wasn't the bomb carrier, so it wasn't really a crucial kill. And still, it's a 2 versus 1 that's going to be very difficult for him to negotiate. Gets the Molotov across on towards the B bomb site just to make sure that no one can be in a certain position there. He actually is going to be taken down, though, by that player in headshot. Nice shot from Sicko. Was a headshot in the end as well. So,
yeah.
Alpha Sydney put 5 on the board here. They're starting to make almost a mini comeback into this half.
Yep.
They're actually sitting,
doing well.
You know, quite a reasonable position now for Alpha Sydney. What previously it looked a little bit dire.
Yeah. Well, if they pick up another 2 rounds here, if they bring it back to 8-7, this is fantastic for them, and they're going to be able to go and say, hey, look, no, we can definitely do this, boys. We can get the second map. What's going down the first one? But Havoc has something to say about that and takes down at Sicko straight away. But mid control has been relinquished by Legacy, so Alpha Sydney are going to try and work on through this as well. But Wizard also going down. So 3 versus 5. It's not what Alpha Sydney needed. Not at all.
Certainly not. But we'll see what APOC can do here, holding the fence. He's spotted out a player, and there's actually 2 for him to deal with. He's going to be able to get an easy kill there onto Herbs, who didn't really do a whole lot of damage to him. The player in the B hall is doing a bit of trouble towards the Legacy players, but really it's not too dangerous. Echo with a good, or a well-timed push rather, is going to be able to take down APOC as he's throwing that Molotov. Might got to get this other player, but no, he escapes through the smoke. And the B retake is going to have to be, I guess, the option of choice here for Legacy now that player in the tree area is smoked off.
2 versus 3, the bomb's going down, and PZ Kid only being on 2 HP. I'm going to put this one in favour of Legacy based on the fact they have a couple of utilities to use as well. But the good news for Alpha Sydney is they have 1 in the site and 1 in main / checkers area, so they can play bait a little bit and set up a crossfire if needed.
Yep, Buster just setting up a smoke here. Just get absolutely slammed as he tries to enter up towards the top. Oh, what? Light step with a fantastic little flick over there onto Peasy Kid.
Yeah.
And, well...
should have made that frag.
Yeah, he definitely should have. But that's the power of Legacy when things start going their way. You know, these crazy sort of... These things that you wouldn't expect to be able to come off just start going their way. And certainly true in that round there.
Good news is that they're at least be able to put an AWP on Sicko for the last round. Alpha Sydney scraping together the remaining cash that they have. And I mean, if they pick up the 6th round, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. The buy on Legacy as well, like you pointed out to me just then. 2 Famises and a shotgun on Buster. Not that you can rule out a Mag 7 at any point in time. If he gets up close, which he likes to do on the A bomb site, then he could wreak a bit of havoc.
Yeah, well, at the moment he's actually on the B side in checkers, so...
It's up here.
Oh, yeah, never mind. I was looking at the wrong number. He is up on the A side.
Selfish guy. Illegitimate since 2016.
Alrighty then. Anyway, we'll see what Alpha Sydney do. They look like they're going to be heading towards that Mag 7, so hopefully for my spectator fun, we're going to be seeing some interesting frags coming out of Buster here. He's actually in a very nice spot as well. They're going to try and run around that corner, try and plant the bomb, and be met with a Mag 7 to the face.
Look at the rotate, though, from Legacy. They've spotted off, and that's off the back of the fact that APOC's pushed up underneath the vent there as well, and nothing's happening at mid. So they have 3 on the bomb site itself, and 1 coming from highway on a quick rotate. So this could end pretty poorly for Alpha Sydney. They've got a lot to test with.
Certainly do, and they're going to make their entry here. Buster with the opportunity to pick something up, but he's going to go down straight away. Lightstep is there to trade him, but there we go. Everything going in the favour of Alpha Sydney for the moment. They get another couple of frags. Herbs and Sicko, 1 apiece. The bomb carrier dropped with a fantastic grenade from APOC. That will slow things down here for Alpha Sydney, but still, plenty of time on the board, but still, plenty of time there for Legacy to actually pick up some kills, and Havoc did just that. Now into a 1 versus 2 for APOC to deal with. He's only got a FAMAS and a flashbang to work with, but Peasy Kid might be gifting him a kill by pushing through this smoke. We'll have to see whether or not he decides to do that, and actually opts to fall back just a little bit. And now Alpha Sydney waiting down that time, and Peasy Kid is spotted out, but gets taken down there, or APOC gets taken down there, rather. And 9-6, the first half scoreline here in the favour of Legacy, but still not a bad half there for Alpha Sydney.
Yeah, no, that was certainly a much better performance from them compared to the first map. So they've certainly got a really good opportunity here to take the fight back to Legacy and pick up their first map out of this best of 3 and potentially start the slow, long grind back to getting their spot into the final to play off Chiefs.
That's, I guess, the prize of this match.
That's the result, correct.
The opportunity to face Chiefs in the grand final, and that'll be a tough match for the winner of this one, but we'll see who that is going to be momentarily, I guess, maybe.
Momentarily. At least in the next 90 seconds, we'll start to get an inclination of how this half is going to go. And
again,
at the moment, yeah.
Just slow and steady.
Slow and steady.
Both these teams. Neither of them really taking too many great risks when they don't have to. They're just spotting out, playing default, and eventually making their way towards the bomb site.
Cheeky little boost here from Echo over the top of the quad. Spots the man out, does a little bit of damage, but all in all, really not much going on here. The bomb lurking around in the mid area. Light Step, the caller for Legacy, has not decided exactly where he wants to head yet, but I think they've decided that based on the boost set up there in A, they're thinking that perhaps with the Glocks they have the shorter range, they might actually be able to sneak their way into B and use this a little better. They do have 3 flashbangs and 2 smokes to use at their disposal. Wizard, potentially, from this sneaky little position at the back of Checkers, could do a lot of damage.
Certainly could if they don't check it, but Havoc, nope, he's actually not going to, so this could be a big moment for Wizard here if he can get around, get the timing right, which he does, but not an easy shot to pull off there. Actually manages to get one, but goes down straight away to Ofnu, who was in there for the trade. The bomb's going to be planted here by Lightstep as well, and actually 2 players from Legacy Esports watching that vent. It's going to be APOC to find one of those kills. Goes down to Sicko, but still Ofnu there covering that angle. There's also Echo trying to push in from the tree area. Goes down to Lightstep. Sicko with a nice shot onto Ofnu, brings it back to a 1v2, but still a very tall order, only on 34 or 24 HP. Does have the armor to work with, but really clutching at straws a little bit in that respect.
Yeah, but this is an easy win. All you can see here is Lightstep baiting out the time there. He's down on 5. Buster comes through from behind, finished off the round. Legacy picking up another pistol round. 10-6 is the score, and they'll be moving on to the purchase of equipment to commence the Eco Slaw.
Yeah. Just a couple of SMGs this time, not the 4 that we saw on their CT side. So they've got a little bit of extra firepower in that AK and the Galil to back it up. And
a scout.
A scout on Havoc there, so see if he can get any interesting shots coming out from that one. They're looking like they're trying to put a bit of pressure on that A site with those utilities, but no one really deciding to peek in just yet either.
Alpha Sydney opting for the pistol armor buy, but not really opting for any real set strategy except for a nice pop flash into the squeaky room. And it's just going to be Ofnu who's going to head in here and try and get some damage here. He's going to be taken down right in the back of the head there, but trade comes through from APOC as well. So 4 versus 4. Lots of information now for Legacy as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. They're going to slowly make their way out onto the bomb site. The smoke is going to obscure the vision there of Sicko. It's going to be down to PZ Kid to pick up 1 or 2 of these frags on the entry if Alpha Sydney want to really get anything out of this one. And, that's not going to happen as Lightstep pops his head off. Wizard, though, in response, is going to be able to take down APOC. Immediately smoked off. He actually does manage to get another one onto Lightstep and a third onto Buster. So Wizard coming up pretty massive in this eco round here for Alpha Sydney, and Havoc only on a very low amount of HP is going to go down as well.
Wrong weapon, wrong scenario right there.
I mean, even with something like a rifle, he probably would have been
well, this is the opposite of what we saw on Dust 2. We saw on Dust 2 on an eco round, Wizard got a 3k, and again on Cache, this time he got a 3k, but this time had a little bit more support, so it's a better effort all round from Alpha City, and they really did need that round. I mean, you can never count on winning a pistol armor buy. Obviously, it's the intent, but Legacy aren't going to be bullied around by Alpha City. They're going to pistol armor right back, Tech 9s, and PD50s and some utilities to boot to help get their way into the B-bomb site. Wizard is opting to go fall back into the site, and he has a little bit of support there as well. So,
all right, let's see what Legacy can do here on their eco. I mean, I guess they've almost forced because they picked up that pistol armor, and they're trying to make their way onto the B side. APOC's going to find one. Ofnu finding another there for Legacy. We did see Herbs manage to grab one, but that's not going to be enough on the defense here. Sicko needs to do something, and he does. Lucky headshot, I think, there onto Lightstep in the end, but still, he'll take it.
Yep.
It's a 2v3 on the retake here. Alpha Sydney should be the ones to close this one out, but APOC does have an M4, and that's going to make things difficult. Sicko going to pop through the smoke there with the flashbang, but not going to get the kill. Does go down. There is the trade. Still, Buster now finding himself in a 1 versus 1. Has spotted out PZ Kid, but PZ Kid favoured to win this one. Has the HP advantage and is going to get the shot across to Buster. The bomb diffusal will come in here for Alpha Sydney. So they hold, but they did lose a lot of weapons.
Yeah. And they're on the CT side, and that's so punishing when you keep losing people, because you look at Echo. Echo, I mean, PZ Kid, he's already bought up. I don't know whether he dropped that. Yeah, he has dropped one there, so they should be able to afford M4s across the board. Should be good. But again, Legacy trying to force the issue here. Getting that bomb plant again allows them to get a couple of AKs, a couple of Tech 9s at Galil, so it's something to work with, a few utilities to boot, so it's not going to be all over in a flash for these guys this round.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded seeing a really quick entry on towards the A site here from Legacy. Get those Tech 9s working, catch Alpha Sydney off guard, but they have slowed things down as they got there towards the A main area. Entry is coming out now from Legacy. Optimus going to find that one on the 3D kid. APOC completely flashed, doing his best, but Sicko proving to be supreme in that situation. A couple of Tech 9s and a couple of AKs remain here for Legacy. If they can get the bomb down, it'll be a nice situation for them. They actually pick up Echo. Trade going across Sicko for Havoc. Or Sicko and Havoc picking up one apiece. Wizard is going to drop down Havoc. And, well, we're back to a 1 versus 1 after all of that. And it's now Lightstep with a Tech 9. Oh, and a headshot onto Wizard.
Running and gunning. Running gunning is what you usually do with a Tech 9, but some precision accuracy from Legacy. And they buy it back, and that's just going to wreck the economy for Alpha Sydney. They shouldn't buy back into this one. I mean, pistols is fine, which they pick up a couple of P250 flashbangs, that's fine. And Legacy know this as well, because 2 MAC-10s, APOC and Ofnu looking to get some money. Build up that Skrilla.
Yeah, get that Skrilla going.
Yep.
A quick peek in towards A main from Alpha Sydney there from Echo. He's going to spot out 3 of those players from Legacy. He goes for a re-peek and actually gets punished for it. It was a good flashbang from Alpha Sydney, so I don't mind the intent, but unfortunately didn't really work out for them in that situation there. Still, it's going to be the A site there for Legacy Esports, unless Wizard comes up with something absolutely crazy like he did in the previous eco that they won.
No magic.
No magic this time. As APOC takes him out, and Herbs now fighting himself in a 1v5 with the USP. Really not much of a chance in this one.
I would... nice little ding. No deal. As we expected, Legacy picking up another round. 12-8. Starting to exert some control here because the double eco, the economy reset for Alpha Sydney is going to come out. So they're just going to do what they did last round. I feel like they should try a stack of some description.
Yeah.
Try and get power, in numbers, the weighted numbers, and try and overrun Legacy.
Doesn't look like they're going to be doing any such strategy, going for the 3-2 split at the moment.
Legacy opting to keep that pace up and moving towards mid. APOC's just going to go straight up highway, but he's been pointed out here is where he gets the ding on one player. It's flashed off. He's potentially going to go down, but he doesn't because Ofnu's there to support his teammate. He's playing a very good game here on Cache. He gets another kill. Eventually gets it done, and this is all done and dusted. Herbs and Wizard are left saying 2 versus 5. This looks like fun.
Yeah, I certainly disagree in the fun aspect of that. Wizard now just trying to hide behind the sandbags and get something done, but it's not going to happen. Ofnu, did he get 4 in that round? 3.
3.
Still, a lot of money off that treble. 10.
Lots of money indeed. So, Sicko pulling out the AWP, and I mean, this is the round for Alpha Sydney. They lose this round, they're going to be low-ish on money. They'll be able to have a full buy with all the utilities that they're going to need because they've lost 3 in a row. So they'll be picking up $2,900 at the end of this, and they've only got a few $100 left over. So this is the round. If Alpha Sydney are going to make a game of this and fight their way back into this semi-final, this is the round for them. A lot of pressure on this moment.
So Legacy just sort of trapped behind this smoke for the moment. They've got a bit of a default setup going on as well. Trying to get a bit of information. Lightstep peeking in towards mid for the moment. Alpha Sydney giving them nothing. It's an important round coming out here for Alpha Sydney because 14 on the board for Legacy is going to make things a little bit more difficult here for Alpha Sydney. They already have a large mountain to climb, but getting 14 or 15 here for Legacy is almost going to be the nail in the coffin, I feel, for Alpha Sydney.
They're starting to play a little bit. Well, they're starting to take some risks as well as you need to when you're a little bit behind. They're going to try and make a play off. They've got 3 over at the B side at the moment because there's been nothing going on really at A side at all. So a big execute comes through towards A and mid, and they've taken mid already. And they're going to come flashing through, and the rotate comes off. So 4 players going to get across for Alpha Sydney. So they do have some firepower to contest what Legacy are doing.
Yeah, it's been a good read here for Alpha Sydney, but now they're going to need to be able to execute, get those weapons. The aim needs to be in their favour, and at the moment it's going in the favour of Legacy. APOC finds 2, Lightstep finding 1. Herbs finding himself once again in a difficult position. 1v4.
He's going for the save, so he'll have... I mean, they're going to buy next round. They're going to have to. Being a map down and going on to that 14th round for Legacy, running into a potential 15th. It's certainly not going to be good for them. So he will save this, and I would imagine Legacy are going to want to hunt it down given their bank balances.
It certainly looks like they're keen to do it. Lightstep checking out the B bomb site. It's going to make a bit of a noise. So Herbs is going to be aware that he is close by, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to find him. So Herbs should be able to take this M4 into the next round. Lightstep getting awfully close. And no. In the end, he's actually going to be taken down. So Alpha City, the pain continues.
Rubbing salt into the wound, I feel.
Certainly is. It's going to have to be a forced buy here from Alpha Sydney if they want to close out this map. They're going to have to do some pretty big heroics, 8 rounds in a row. Or I guess they can go to OT, but definitely not ideal for them.
Yep, they're going to need 7 out of the next 8 at a minimum if they're going to stay in this competition, the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 LAN Finals. Pushing through there, so you can see again they're trying to take some risks and try and make things happen. APOC is waiting for him here, and I think he's got an inkling that there's some players there, so he does the pop flash there, steps out, gets 1.
I think he might have tagged the feet of someone else. No, not quite. But anyway, it's going to be PZ Kid does manage to get 1, but still 2 kills in the favour of Legacy. It's going to leave them with a player advantage here. 3v5 as Legacy try to make their way onto that A-bomb side and actually successfully do so. No one from Alpha Sydney trying to even defend that after those 2 in the main area. The bomb's making its way there. It's a little bit slow here, but Legacy don't seem too phased by that as Havoc picks up some go. 2 players left alive here for Alpha Sydney to keep this game alive. There's a couple of low players here for Legacy if Wizard can try and get something done, but I almost feel that it's not going to be enough. He does manage to take down APOC though, so the bomb has been planted for Legacy. Some reasonable post-plant positions here for Legacy as well. Lightstep though, very easy kill. Buster also very easy kill. Not going to matter though, Lightstep is going to take down Wizard, and it's all down to Herbs in a 1-on-3 to keep his team in a winning position, or a winnable position. Not winning necessarily. No. Not going to happen there.
Not much winning is being done by Alpha Sydney at this point.
No.
15-8 down. Legacy are on the verge of securing their spot in the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 Grand Final. The winner will be taking on Chiefs, but Fat Lady has not sung. It is not all over. There is a glimmer of hope. It's still mathematically possible for Alpha Sydney to come back from this position, but it is highly unlikely with the damage buy on again. So 2 at mid, 1 at B, 2 at A, and they're going to push through again. APOC, and this time they're going to opt for the boost. It hasn't worked out for them previously.
Yeah, Echo trying to spot in towards Squeaky. He's not going to spot anyone out, but PZ Kid will. Takes down Buster. Early advantage here for Alpha Sydney. This is actually good for them because obviously they haven't been really getting those first frags of the round. Legacy have been getting a lot of them, and that's really been snowballing the rounds in favour of Legacy. Now Alpha Sydney have an opportunity to actually find a round.
And a round is certainly what they need here. So they don't have a lot of map control. Or in fact, actually, I lie. PZ Kid has pushed through Squeaky Room, has taken down Offnu as well. So now it's a 5 versus 3. So it's slowly but surely improving for Alpha Sydney. But it is a long journey for them to go just yet.
Lightstep bringing things back, but immediately Wizard responds onto having it's a 4v2 now. These final 2 players for Legacy Esports, APOC and Lightstep. See whether or not they can get anything done. Echo, they're probably not even going to have time to actually they do, but it's going to be Echo who close it out there onto APOC. Lightstep does get the trade, but still a 1-for-1 is definitely not the result Legacy would have wanted in that situation, being that they were players down. And PZ Kid will finish it off there. So 9 on the board here for Alpha Sydney. Still 6 rounds in a row is what they need to be able to take this one to overtime, and even if they want to have a possibility of winning this map. So it's a very big ask. And the real question, I guess, now is, are they up to the challenge? They've got an ore pod to CSGO. He was a little bit lackluster with it on Dust 2. See if we can bring something here for Alpha Sydney.
Yeah, they managed to pick that one up from the last round. It was Havoc's orb, so not having to spend the money as well. So if they're able to win this, they'll slowly start building up the economy. But there's still quite a large amount of cash behind Legacy's efforts to continue on their winning ways. And again, the default, the slow position. It's the game of chess. But we can't quite figure out which side is the white side at this point. Who's going to make the first move?
Yeah, well, you'd have to expect it should be Legacy here, being that they're on the T side.
Who will be the pawn that they send in to find some information? Herbs is starting to play a little bit in B main here. And, in fact, he's going to get mollied out. Gets away. Only loses 19 HP, so that's all right. And in fact, Apoc's down to 3. So, again, it's a slight advantage at this point for Alpha Sydney. But they don't really know what's going on. This is the A execute that we saw before from Legacy that resulted in a round win. So they're going to try again.
Certainly are. APOC going to be the man on point, getting up the short area. He's going to be smoked off, but Alpha Sydney getting the first frag of the round. It's CSGO taking down Havoc. Echo in a great position to find a couple here. They line up, but he's not going to land the shots. A good flashbang coming out there for Legacy does result in the kill. Peasy Kid, though, he's going to respond back on the Buster. It's a 3v1 here. And again, they almost line up for the Legacy player, but in the end, Alpha Sydney picking up another round. So creeping ever closer to that magic number 15.
Grooming on for dear life there. Tournament life is on the line.
It is.
They've come so far, but will, in the words of Lincoln Park, in the end, doesn't even matter.
Well, who knows? Who knows? The end has not yet happened for Alpha Sydney. Again, coming out a buy here for Legacy, so they're just absolutely rolling in money at the moment, but eventually they're going to not... Well, they're eventually going to run out.
Well, yeah, sure. You can't spend, and never go into a deficit.
Yeah.
So Herbs holding down B site with the AWP. He does have support in the side from Wizard. He's playing deep in the back. And they're actually moving forward through here, actually moving into the side. Sicko picks up the first one. That's the A player as well. So he's just the distraction. Wizard picks up the information that there's at least one in checkers. And Apoc's a little bit low as well, so they probably know where he is as well. And I would say that they have an inkling at this point. Sicko's moved back towards mid, so he'll be around reasonably quickly. A main information's been gathered as well by Echo, but B execute comes in. Offnu's going to lead point.
Yeah, so nice shot with that AWP onto APOC. Wizard also going to pick up Buster, but a couple of quick frags go in the favor of Legacy. Having said that, though, the reinforcements coming in there for Alpha Sydney, the rotations, and another round on the board.
These executions aren't really working against Alpha Sydney.
Rush B, don't stop. Let's do it, Legacy.
Yeah, potentially. It's an option, but I'm not talking about maybe just trying to slowly work out rather than giving that massive cue of smoke straight away, but having that pick and roll play, potentially.
Yep.
That could be a good idea for them. But they've been forced back onto the eco, so this is a chance for Alpha Sydney to shore up their economy.
Yeah, probably not going to be much coming out of this round for Legacy, but we have seen them win an eco already, so I guess don't hold your breath if you're Alpha Sydney at the moment.
It would be a cruel fate for Alpha Sydney if they lost to
Certainly
an eco
would.
after clawing their way back into this match. So it's going to be an A hit. And unfortunately, Wizard is actually rotating off to the wrong side at this point in time. And Legacy going to come out.
I mean, they still have 3 players on this site for Alpha Sydney, so it should be well enough players to hold that one. Sicko actually hitting a couple of players, I think, with one of those shots, but really only getting the one kill. He's going to get a bit of backup there from PZ Kid. Gets the kill with the CZ and the no-scope there. Nice shot from Sicko.
Repeating good hold on the A from yesterday.
Yeah.
That's why we say he's such a dangerous player when he has that AWP in his hands. So 15-12. Looking over at the players now. Legacy were looking very comfortable earlier on in this match, but now they look a little more intense, a little bit more focused.
Yep, a little bit of doubt perhaps creeping into their mind. Is it going to happen again?
Yep. Are they going to have to take this to the third map of Mirage? I certainly hope not, but we certainly hope that they do go to a third. That'll be much more interesting. But we will focus at the round at hand at the moment. So it's again just the default for Legacy. Slightly different setup for Alpha Sydney, and I don't actually like where Echo is holding at the moment. He's in a one and done spot. So if they rushed out, he would probably get the first kill, but he would easily get traded. And there's not a lot of backup coming from short in terms of Sicko, it's quite easily smoked off and they'll be able to take the site. So looks like this A execute that we saw previously is going to come out again. So fairly stubborn in the way, Legacy Esports.
Not working out too well at the moment either. PZ Kid is going to find A-bomb. Actually gets taken out there by Lightstep in the end, so not too bad for Legacy. Still 2 players on the B-bomb site, but the rotate coming across there for Legacy. And this is a pretty, a good read from Alpha City. They haven't rotated anyone off that B site preemptively, and it's worked out well for them. They're going to have to try and hold on to this one. 2 versus 4, but you can see slowly but surely Sicko is rotating through CT here for Alpha Sydney. It's going to be Lightstep going down to Herbs, making work a little bit more difficult for Legacy, but off new response. Now it's down to Herbs in a 1 versus 3. Havoc is going to take down Sicko. Let's get a kill onto Offnu, and it's a 2 versus 2, and Herbs going to have to be caught on the reload. Buster takes him out. It's a 2v1 now. Echo having to come through the vents, and this could be the moment for Legacy Esports. They should win this round. 2v1. Definitely in their favor. They'll hear that drop from Echo, so they know exactly where he is. And Havoc, you can see just staring down the B Hall's angle. Buster going to be looking in towards Check as you'd expect. Okay, so the flashbang coming out here for Echo. The entry is there, and it is Buster to close it out. Legacy Esports close at 16-12 in their favor, 2-0, and they will go on to meet the Chiefs in the grand final here at the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016.
It's the matchup that a lot of people hoped for.
A lot of people expected as
well.
A lot
of people expected. And congratulations to Legacy Esports for going through and making it into the grand final. We will see the Chiefs game coming out. It'll probably be in about half an hour's time or so. We've got to allow the Chiefs to warm up again, because obviously they've had a significant break. But I mean, Alpha Sydney, whilst they weren't able to really, put a lot of effort into that and really gave a fantastic fight, we saw a glimmer of hope. But it's a good experience for them. This is the first time they got out of groups in terms of this core. So slowly but surely, they're making their way up the food chain, the Australian food chain. And we are going to do the giveaway.
Yes, of course. That is going to be the Gut Knife Ultraviolet. So the keyword I'm sure that everyone is already aware of if you've been watching throughout the weekend.
Doing this on this.
It's already probably going. But if you're not aware, it is Mwave. So spam that one in the chat. Put yourself into the draw to win the Gut Knife Ultraviolet Field Tested. And pick yourself up a nice knife. I don't have a knife. You don't have a knife. So it's a shame we can't enter, but oh well. Them's the breaks.
Them's is the breaks. I'll certainly live with not having a knife. So one of you lucky viewers will go home with a knife. And really, we're going to see the grand final that we wanted. I mean, I think it's the matchup. Probably, the 2 highest rated teams. The immunity overseas. So weren't able to make it. So Legacy, Chiefs, just a quick thought. A little bit of knowledge for the viewers whilst we go, so they can ponder, think about it whilst we're over on the break. What do you think?
Well, before the whole event started, I was kind of on the Chiefs train, and I feel like I still am. Legacy have been reasonably impressive in that game there, but I don't think they've been tested too much today, and they did have a reasonably difficult performance yesterday, so I feel like Chiefs coming into this one are the team that are on form. I think they have the hunger to win it a little bit more than Legacy as well, so
interesting.
We'll see what happens.
Interesting thoughts there.
It's hard to call. It's almost 50-50. I feel like it's 55-45 in the favour of Chiefs, but it's as close as it gets almost.
Yeah, well, they had probably a harder matchup before as well when they played Corvidae. Corvidae guys played very well, and they pushed them a lot more than Alpha Sydney did to Legacy just then. So perhaps a little bit of battle hardiness coming in for them as well. Playing in that close environment, that clutch, the pressure situations there, we'll see them come through. Just a quick shout out to Dex, who was our observer for the match. Thanks very much to him for coming down and helping out. But we're going to go to a break. We are, of course, the Mwave CGPL Autumn 2016 season.
We're not going to a break.
No?
We're going to go to an interview with Sandman in a second.
Of course. We cannot let our viewers not get any more of the Sandman. Other than Mwave, our sponsors, NVIDIA, MSI, AOC, Turtle Beach, Plantronics, Netgear, Logitech, and AK Racing. Thanks very much to all of those companies for supporting our esports. I guess we'll have a very short switch around, and then we're going to go to the Sandman. He'll hold our hands, holding his pillow tight. It'll be Sandman.
Alrighty, are we ready?
All right. So stay tuned. We'll be back right away with an interview.